And so I believe everybody here has heard me speak before. And I'm going to apologize up front if I get emotional, because I'm seeing my friend that passed on Tuesday sitting in this front chair. And I'm wondering if he just chose that last song because that was perfect and it was so who he was. But I've got Archangel Gabriel coming through. So we'll see what... He's just giving me a minute to compose, apparently. Good morning. I am Archangel Gabriel. Most of you know that I am God's messenger. The message today is all about love. There was divine influence over the music a few moments ago. As humans, you're unaware of how your energy affects others most of the time. Your goal in this life is to find your happiness, to radiate positivity, to radiate love. You are human, so you will not always feel positive about things in your life. You will not always feel loved. You will not always project love. As you go through your days, try to be consciously aware of your energy. Know that you have the ability to change your energetic form at any time. Just simple thoughts of love, calling in the angels for assistance when you need it. But be aware of how you are and how that affects other people. As you've heard Melissa speak about her friend who came home this past week, there were thoughts yesterday, excuse me, of how blessed he truly was to have so many friends and family. The room was packed full of love. All mourning the passing of this wonderful man. A common theme in discussions yesterday was how he was always smiling and laughing. He had a great sense of humor, and he projected love and positivity. There are many stories told about his kindness and his good heart. There are many people drawn to him, not just because he was good looking, but because he was always smiling. He could turn a bad situation into a good situation with just a few comments. There is one story I'd like to share. We were out at one of his favorite bars, hanging out and just enjoying each other's company and partaking in adult beverages. And this man walked by. My friend was very, very buff. He was not only did he work out at the gym, but he was also a roofer. And so sometimes I think people were intimidated by his size. And, you know, my younger brother is very large, and he always says, you know, it's the smallest guy in the room that has to prove something and try to talk to the biggest guy in the room. So I think this was kind of that situation. So as this guy walked by, he kept making comments and kept, you know, threatening, and, you know, we're hearing all these comments. And I remember Mike looked at me and he goes, yeah, I don't know what his problem is. And he gets up out of his chair, and this is when we first started to get to know each other. So I'm like, oh no, this is not going to be good. I didn't want to be witness to a bar fight. So I go over and I'm watching, and he approached this man, and he's just, I could see him saying something to him, and all of a sudden Mikey reaches out his hand. This guy shakes his hand, Mikey buys him a beer, and that was the end of that. And I thought, how many people, let alone men, you know, can just approach somebody in a situation like that where somebody's being negatively aggressive and turn it into, now they're buddies. He was amazing that way. He was just always so positive and so loving. And he had ALS, and that's what eventually took his life. And I remember about a year or so ago, he and I discussed our belief system about what happens when the body dies. And he was asking about heaven and do I believe there's a hell? And I said, sometimes I think hell is right here on earth, Mikey, because, how could things be worse than what you're going through right now? And he looked at me and he said, Mel, things could always be worse. And here at this point, he wasn't able to feed himself. He wasn't able to do anything for himself, really. Yet he still had that positive outlook and that positive manner. And I just was absolutely blessed to have this man in my life. And he was such a great example of how to live your life. Gabriel wants me to discuss what I saw on Tuesday when he passed. It was very interesting because it was something I had never witnessed before, but here he is, he's in his recliner and he started on the morphine. And I could see 10 lights around him. And I knew they were angels. And within a few minutes, I saw 3 of them start, I don't know if I want to say putting their hands on him or there was an energetic connection going on with those 3 angels. And I saw this beautiful glowing light around his head. And as I look at this glowing light, like in my peripheral, I saw this beautiful prism of colors, just this beautiful rainbow. If I turned to look at the rainbow, I couldn't see it. But in my peripheral, that's what I could see. And it was so comforting. And then as time went on, I saw each of the angels connect more. And I knew that when the last one connected, that's when he was going to be out of his body and on to the next phase. And I knew the minute he was out of his body because I saw that connection, and it was Archangel Michael. And I could feel Mikey, and I could feel this humbleness, I guess is the only way to describe it. He just felt humbled being in the presence of this archangel. And it was so comforting to know that that's where he was. He's with the angels. And then yesterday, at his service, I had whispered in his ear and said, when I hear the song Shaken by Eddie Money, because that was our song, I could always get him to go dance to that. I said, when I hear Shaken, I'm going to know that you're with me. So yesterday we're prepared for the memorial service and people are just starting to come in. And all of a sudden I feel his presence so strongly, it brings tears to my eyes. And we're kind of in between songs on the playlist. And the next song that came on was Shaken. Mm-hmm. So I had to ask him to back up so I could get through the rest of the day without crying. Because when you connect with that energy of a loved one that's passed, your body reacts in such an emotional way. All right, let's go back to Gabriel. Michael Gallagher was a blessing. I'm sorry. To his friends and family. As you go about your day, think of how you affect your friends and family. What would it be like on the day that you transition? What would people say about you? Would people feel blessed to have known you? How good of an impression can you make while you still have time here on the earth plane? Remember, if you are happy, you radiate happiness. If you feel love, you radiate love. Share your love and your positive energy with everyone around you. Friends, family, strangers you come in contact with. Know that each of your lives means something special to somebody. And know that you are all loved. Remember, the angelic energy is around you and can bring you up anytime you seek assistance. And until next time, we leave you with the love and the blessings of the angelic realm.